Hey guys, Mike from Baltimore Rides here. Monday the 19th. No, I'm sorry, today's Sunday. This is wrapping up a Sunday video. I'm looking at my clock that has the date on it and it threw me off. But it is technically Monday, but this is my wrap-up video for Sunday the 18th. Long, interesting weekend, guys. And I haven't really made a video in a while. I know I'm not so great at that right now. I've kind of fallen off the wagon a little bit with these videos. But, a lot of stuff going on. And I'm not excusing my inconsistencies. I'm not at all. But just a lot of craziness going on. On the bright side, I've been driving in Baltimore since I got back from Virginia to get my mom's stuff. And I've been actually having pretty successful nights. Now, it tells me a couple things. It tells me that spring is definitely in the air. For me to be able to have a $200 night in and around Baltimore is a really good thing, because it tells me that spring is in the air, customer traffic is increasing, people are moving around more on foot, they're going out, they're going to dinner, they're doing stuff. Whereas during those really cold winter months, December, January, and even into February a little bit, people were just less mobile. They were really kind of hunkered down, and unless it was a holiday weekend or one of those freaky 70-degree weekends, people were not going out as much. But I've had some consistently good days in and around the city. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to drive in DC anymore. I'm not saying that at all. But this past Saturday I had plans, so I was not on the road. Not St. Patrick's Day plans, although it was coincidental that it was St. Patty's Day. But I had plans that just kept me off the road that day. So knowing that I wasn't going to be working on a Saturday, and my DC quest goals were going to be very challenging to achieve, I did not drive in DC at all last week, so, or the week that's ending today. I drove in Baltimore the entire week, and I actually had pretty good numbers. Finished the week somewhere in the high 900s, but I took 2 days off. I took off Thursday and Saturday. Thursday I spent with my kids, and then Saturday I had other stuff I had to take care of. So, a 5-day work week and to do $900 is a great week. Finishing it out tonight. $185 tonight between Uber and Lyft. Now, Uber is very strong right now in Baltimore, guys. I am still running both. I'm still preferential to Lyft. But to me, if whichever one is going to gets the next ride, gets the next ride. And at this particular point, I'm almost back to back with Uber right now in Baltimore. Now, some days it's more Lyft, some days it's more Uber. That's kind of varied. But, I just had a good Uber night tonight. I'm not going to complain. So, that's that. But not a whole lot else to really talk about from the ride-sharing perspective. QuickBooks SelfEmployed the app. Volunteered me to be on their ambassador program, which is basically the same thing that Lyft and Uber do, where I have a code that if I use my code and a customer signs up for the subscription service to QuickBooks SelfEmployed App, I get a spiff, or I get a referral code, or referral fee, I should say. So, again, just something else that I'm not really good at marketing, but I need to get better at. And I've been talking to some people that I know that have some really decent ideas on how to promote myself and these codes, Lyft, Uber, and now the SelfEmployed app, which, honestly, if you think about it, the SelfEmployed app is almost written for the rideshare industry. The mileage piece on the app is like a third of the reason why I use it. Obviously the transaction tracking is great. And that's really the lion's share of the reason why I use it, is because it's a great way to track transactions. I can take pictures of my receipts, which I'm actually pretty good at right now. I've been sticking to that. And it does a really good job at tracking my spending. But the mileage piece, which I enter my mileage in manually, I don't use the app because the app is quirky and I feel like it's missing miles on all the nights that I've tested it. And, you know, from what I've read about the IRS, the log does not have to be very specific. It just has to be detailed enough that there's a level of accuracy. You don't have to track every single trip. You don't have to go into that level of detail. They do say you need an IRS mileage log, but I've read varying accounts of how accurate it needs to be. So, and my taxes have gone through with lickety-split with no complications. So I think it's really only going to come into play if you get audited. You know, if you do get an audit and you do get scrutinized, you do want to be able to at least show how many miles you drove on a daily basis. You want to know your beginning and ending mileage notes for the year, because that's really kind of what they use to corroborate your mileage. And in my case, where I have two vehicles, so I have a personal vehicle, the minivan that I use for family driving, you know, I can substantiate that, you know, close to 100% of the miles on the Hyundai are work related. I do track my personal miles on the Hyundai as well, and you know, they're very, very far and few between. But if I go to my mom's, or if I run an errands, or I pick the kids up, you know, those little miles, I do track them as personal, and it's worth it to do so because then you can speak to accuracy. So there's that. So I've got that to promote. Uber and Lyft right now, the promotions are pretty strong. I'm at $1,000 for Lyft with a referral, and I think it's $400 with Uber. And my findings are this: it's not hard to find people that want to sign up. It's hard to find people that sign up, get their car inspected, get on the road, and actually complete the number of trips within the required time. So that's where I need to kind of reinvent the wheel a little bit and maybe create like a flow chart that gives people a better timeline, because it doesn't do me any good. I mean, obviously they're still signed up, they're still making money for themselves, but here's me being selfish for a minute, talking to you guys and talking it through. I don't want them to sign up and then I never see them again. I don't want them to sign up, drag their feet about getting their car inspected, finally get their car repaired so that it can go through inspection, and then miss the window for the referral bonus. So I think I need to incentivize that somehow. Now maybe I give them like a gas card, you know, with like, you know, $50 worth of gas on it or something, if they complete everything within a certain time frame. Something that incentivizes them as the signee, you know, the person that's signing up, to do it in a timely manner and use my advice. Oh, excuse me, sorry. So that, you know, it gets done within the allotted time frame. So it's a thought. It's something that I'm toying with, you know. And if I do that and they don't, you know, they don't make the time. Excuse me, they don't make the time frame, then they don't get the gift card. But if they do and they get the certain amount of trips in with the certain time frame and they qualify for the bonus, you know, if I'm getting a $1,000 bonus, I don't have a problem with buying a $50 gas card, you know, which is like 2 tanks of gas for most people. So it's a thought. It's a thought. It's a way to kind of grease the wheel a little bit and maybe get those people to listen a little bit better, because I've had several people sign up, but none of them have made it at the right time level. And so there's people driving that have used my code, but just didn't get the amount of trips in before the meter stopped running. Because they give you 30 days from the minute you put your information in and hit the sign up button. And the tricky part about that is that doesn't really give you a lot of time, because then you got to go and find an inspection station, get your car inspected. Hopefully it goes through on the first try. If not, you got to get some stuff done to it. And then get on the road. Some people are skittish when they first get started, and they don't really dive in head first like we do. So, you know, that's where they make this referrals thing really tricky. But like anything else, we should be able to work that system. We just have to get better at it. But that's all I really want to talk about tonight, guys. Everything's going well with me. It's been a good couple weeks. A lot's been going on in my personal life, obviously, but I feel like from a work standpoint, spring is in the air and things are starting to normalize. So let's just keep our fingers crossed that the weather this week is going to be mild and this fear of a snowstorm, doesn't materialize. So everybody be great out there, be safe, drive safe on the roads, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.